Well, hello world, welcome to Raccoon Point Studios. I'm Sean Bombs, and today we're talking about getting out of a creative rut using pedals and drum machines and synthesizers and just hooking a bunch of stuff up and just see where it takes you, just to try to get out of any kind of songwriting or creative rut that you're in. You just experiment and go through things, make a bunch of mistakes, and see what happens. And if you're into that kind of stuff, hit the like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to stay notified, because we're going to be doing a lot of different things like that on this channel, experimenting with different pedals, synthesizers, drum machines, recording drums, and all that fun stuff. You see back here I got the console. I'll probably be going through stuff like that, the EQs. I've built some EQs. I've done a lot of DIY stuff. So we're going to get into a bunch of stuff. We have all these plugins at our disposal, and drum machines in your computer, and different programs and all that stuff. You got Ableton Live, any add-on to what you want to use with Logic or Pro Tools or Cubase, Reaper, whatever your DAW of choice is, Fruity Loops. This video is about breaking out of your creative rut, if you're in one, with tactile control, using guitar pedals and a drum machine or a synthesizer. I use a lot of this stuff for guitar, but I find that I have a lot of fun when I use it with drum machines and synthesizers and, just other different kinds of instruments, just to get different sounds. And the cool thing is, not only is it fun, but when you combine a bunch of different effects like this, you come up with stuff that you wouldn't normally come up with. Just now, I just had the drums, one simple loop, and then I'm just messing around with everything, just finding different things to turn and see what it does and have fun with it and come up with exciting new things that I can't think of. I just have to turn things and do. I'm not drawing in automation in the computer. I'm not thinking, I'm not like mapping things out. I'm just connecting something to something else and turning knobs and just feeling everything as it's going in real time, which is, for me, very, very important in the creation process. Having been born in 1975 and in the 90s, coming of age with music and recording in my bedroom with a 4-track tape machine. I actually had this Dr. Rhythm, this exact one, which I lost many years ago, and I just, for nostalgia reasons, I rebought it off of Reverb or eBay like 10 years ago or whatever it was, because I wanted this little thing, just because it was something that I created a lot of stuff in my teens with, and it just has a special place for me. I know that might sound corny to some people, but it really was instrumental for my growth as a musician, as a songwriter, and that's why I wanted to get it back. And also, having a 4-track tape machine and this thing, I always felt limited. So, you have to program it prior to recording the tape, because once you do it, you're done, not like nowadays where you can switch everything after the fact so easy. And it makes the creative process more challenging, but at the same time, you might have happy accidents, or you're limiting yourself to specific things, and you're just getting into what's in front of you instead of manipulating everything after the fact. And kind of sometimes you get away from the core of the feeling you were going for in the beginning in the first place. I can't tell you how many times that I was messing around with a bunch of stuff, didn't make any sense at the time, but it would lead me to something else as far as a writer. So there's so many times where I was just, before loopers were a thing, before the Line 6 DL4, I had two Boss DD5s or something. I forget what the number was, but two digital delays. I think it was 4 seconds of delay was the max, and I would set one at the max delay I could get. Maybe it was 1 second. I don't remember. And the other one I would set at half of that, and that would give me my timing. And I would just do a bunch of stuff with the guitar and just loop these things together, and it would just mesh and meld, and it would be trippy as hell. And you'd have to be a special kind of listener to really like that. But for a creative, for me, it would lead me to writing songs, because I would just create stuff, and then there would be one part out of all the stuff I created that would really grab me, and I would end up writing something around that. So that's the story here. The other thing that's cool about using guitar pedals with drum machines and synthesizers and vocals and stuff like that is you can also manipulate stuff and then sample it. So instead of buying these sample packs and having a billion gazillion samples that everybody else has, you can take a drum machine, old drum, or even a sample out of one of your libraries. Just grab a few. Don't have 20,000 different ones. Just grab a kick drum, a snare, hi-hat, whatever, and manipulate it outside of the computer with this stuff, and then bring it back and then chop it up and make a sample out of it, and there you go. Like there you go with not having to deal with copyright stuff and stuff like that, because you can manipulate things to a point of they're unrecognizable. And like I said, you don't think about what you're doing, you just do it. And I mean, for me, that's music. If I'm thinking too much, then I'm losing the plot. If anybody's ever programmed MIDI drums from scratch without playing them and just placing things because you know exactly where you want things, it's tedious, and I only know that because I used to program the drum machine all the time, and I used to use this thing every day, programming drums, programming different parts, like whole songs, and it's not as easy as it is nowadays, where there's groove packs and you can copy and paste things and go this way and do that. I mean, you copy and paste on here, but it's going to be cumbersome. And that's it, man. That's my talk about everything. I'm going to try to build upon what I just did with this and try different instruments. If you want to stick around, please do. And that's it. So let's jam.